What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on the epic news that just came out, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, it is up 5.12%. Market's been open roughly around 15 minutes. Pre-market, though, it did have a high of 324 and a lot of volume. So today is going to be a fairly heavy volume day. Currently 6.7 million shares being traded, 19.9 is the average. And for those of you that kind of have been watching my channel for a while, I like to analyze where the volume is coming from, whether it be shorts, algorithmic trading, or true institutions buying. And today they are buying. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000, again within the first about 10 minutes of the trading day. Based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, all of them have been buys. One big one as well, so 3.05 million. And even comparing it to the last several trading days, there was a lot of selling that's been happening. So today's kind of a quick 180, and this is exactly what I did say would happen, because institutions have been just waiting for either gravity updates or good Q2 numbers, and that's obviously a little bit more of a spoiler alert because that's exactly what they did put out. So I want to go over some of the data points and everything else, but starting off, Lucid announces Q2 production and deliveries, sets date for second quarter 2024 results. So they slated it for August the 5th after hours, so fairly good stuff. And they also do have that Q&A once again, so that's going to be opening up on July 22nd. So this is where we can kind of put together a lot of like-minded individuals, put some good questions out there, because I think asking about profitability is just going to be some of the dumbest things to do right now, because Peter already talked about that during the recent conferences and the summit. So I don't think that would be wise to ask. And there's always those typical reoccurring questions that always come out, such as Apple and whatever else. So definitely we need to put our best foot forward. But better yet though, numbers. So Lucid produced 2,110 vehicles and did deliver 2,394, well above even my average. So I did estimate around 2,100 for delivered and 1,900 for produced. So the market is seeing this as extremely optimistic, because now this is the second reoccurring earnings that they did deliver more than what they did produce, showing that they're getting rid of excess inventory. And that is good, because that also at the same time does show that there's a good level of demand. And one thing to note, I kind of brought it up briefly in a video, but in Q2, I think in Saudi Arabia, they had a promotion during the end of the quarter, but in North America, they didn't. Normally, every other time, they've actually had some promotion just to get rid of peers and whatever else, but like clearly sales were good enough that they didn't have to do those last minute promotions just to bump up their sales. So yeah, I think in all honesty, things are starting to look a little bit better for Lucid. Just you'll have to watch for that $3 mark, because shorts and market makers definitely do want to bring it below that $3 mark, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Even on my video, I think on Saturday or whenever over this last weekend on some expectations, I did anticipate, just based on the technicals alone, for it to really trend higher, but you're also going to have a good amount of manipulation kind of kicking in. So something to kind of keep in mind. Currently 159,000 in calls, 32,000 in puts. So today's, even on the options front, going to have a lot of volume. 58% of all the options being done today so far are optimistic and bullish, and clearly anticipating for it to be above $3.50. So very kick-ass stuff for that. And with their earnings slated for the 5th, so August the 9th, so that's going to be the week encumbering their earnings, there isn't all that much for options being done so far there. There oddly is a lot of optimism around that $5 mark for today. So I don't know, do you think that Lucid is going to be around that $5 mark? I feel like if they do unveil the gravity and possibly a Hyundai partnership at the same time, then yes, definitely could be well above that $5 mark. We'll just have to wait and see. But nonetheless, going back over to this, so looking at the open interest, you do see 11,000 in open interest at that $3 strike price. This is while I was talking about how market makers and shorts will try to suppress Lucid below $3 to ensure that those options are not in the money by this upcoming Friday. So just watch for a lot of manipulation and shorts, but given the news that came out today, I anticipate a lot of FOMO coming from institutions to keep buying. And keep in mind as well, this technically hasn't even encumbered new analyst ratings. So probably after hours or throughout today or tomorrow, you'll see this step up quite significantly, and this will be new ratings, hopefully 4, 5, maybe even higher than that price targets. So that would be some pretty kick-ass stuff. As a consensus of all the ratings right now, $3.22 is the consensus, and that does work out to be a 6.45% upside. Even aside from that, the elite wave technicals prior to today's news were looking very optimistic that it was going to be heading to that 330 to 350. So today's news might just kind of escalate that a little bit faster than the norm, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that though, right now with it at 301, it is sitting exactly on this R2. So right now a very strong support. So we'll just have to watch and see exactly what does come from that. Aside from that, 289 is going to be that next strong support. So I think right now the market is starting to pull back slightly. So I think it's just unfortunate. And Lucid has done that a lot. No fault to Lucid. They just put out good news on somewhat crappy days. So it does look like a lot of the growth stocks are starting to pull down slightly. But nonetheless, like I've said in the past, what happens price point wise versus what happens operationally is different. So it seems as though Lucid is getting their shit together, pardon my French, operationally. Finally, after, what is it, 3 years? Just shy of 3 years or something like that of production. So they're finally moving in the right direction. And keep in mind as well, with these numbers, it is very fair to assume that they're going to blow the hell out of their year-end target. That's just my opinion. Peter has said Q4 is going to be where they really kick ass. And looking back historically, yeah, got to give them that. They are always kicking ass in Q4. So it is fair to assume probably around 11,000 is going to be their year-end target. And in this earnings, imagine how much the stock price will jump up if they actually do raise guidance. Say, hey, you know what? Instead of 9,000, what we're going to assume is 11. Then holy shit, the stock price is just going to go up like crazy. So yeah, definitely, I think operationally things are coming together. On the actual chart itself, it is currently outside the boiling event, so something again to kind of consider. Stochastic, you do see it considered very overbought, and that was prior to today's news. So a little bit of consolidation, it looks like, is occurring. No defined trend. Number of retail investors have been getting in. So all in all, like I said, I think that's some pretty good news operationally. Just clearly the stock price doesn't always correlate with that, and it is pulling down slightly just with the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Lucid? And actually, just to give you a quick update, 16.2 million shares have been traded within the first 20 minutes of the trading day. So today's going to be an enormous amount of volume. So with all that said, I appreciate all of you guys watching. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.